teachers quit the teaching profession over the summer than any other time of the year, about 250,000. And there are 3 reasons for that. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what those 3 reasons are and why the summertime is actually the most important decision window of your entire teaching career. But before we get into any of that, I don't want you to leave this video empty-handed. And so I created for you my teacher burnout checklist. It's free. It's 100% free, and it's always free. And I want you to go check it out. It's in the description. You get it there at the QR code on the screen. Now, let's go find out what those 3 reasons really are. Number 1, teachers are burned out and fed up. And when I say fed up, I don't mean just a little bit frustrated. I mean the kind of fed up that builds up over a 10-month period of giving everything that you have and getting very little back in return. Teachers are fed up with losing their weekends. Teachers are fed up with having to stay extra hours without pay. Teachers are fed up with having to take home work at night. And here's the thing that nobody talks about. Whenever you come back from summer break, it's within weeks. Sometimes it's even less than that. You're already running on empty again. It's like you never even went on summer break. And here's the thing. That's not in your head. And that's not a personal weakness. That's what chronic exhaustion actually looks like. And here's what the data says about that. Over 80% of teachers work 10 to 15 hours per week beyond their contracted hours every single week, completely unpaid. So we're not burning out because we're weak. We're burning out because we're being worked into the ground. And a few weeks of summer doesn't take care of it, because summertime is often filled with preparation for next year, or professional developments, or useless conferences. And when you take all those things into account, that doesn't offer enough time for an adequate recovery. Now, if exhaustion wasn't bad enough, I want you to know that that's only part of the story, because the second reason why teachers quit over the summer is even worse. Number 2, there is no backup and there's no support. So it's not just that teachers are tired, it's that we're tired and we're completely alone, because student behavior is completely out of control with hardly any disciplinary measures to get it under control. Parents will not hold their students accountable, and they're letting us know about it in our inbox, out at the pickup line, sometimes even in the middle of your classroom. And administrators, I mean, you gotta love them, but God bless them. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place trying to keep everybody happy. So when things fall apart in your classroom, and they will, and you turn around and you're looking for somebody to have your back, you better get used to there being nobody there. You're just out there by yourself trying to hold the whole thing together. And the data backs this up, because a recent survey found that 78% of teachers have considered quitting since the pandemic. And the number 1 reason was not pay, and it wasn't the expectations, although they are completely ridiculous. It's the fact that there is no support. There's no support from parents. There's no support from the administration, and there is no support from the legislation. It's just teachers standing alone in the classroom wondering how long they can keep doing this by themselves. And here's the thing. If the feeling of being alone, if that wasn't enough, there's a 3rd reason. And this one might be the one that hurts the most, because it's personal and yet nobody talks about it. But before I get into reason number 3, I want to pause for just a second, because if you've been nodding your head in agreement, then I want you to know that I created something specifically for this, specifically for teachers, but more importantly, specifically for you. We're going to come back to it in just a minute, but I don't want you to leave this video without knowing about it. And so you can check it out in the description box or at the QR code right now on the screen. All right, let's get back to it. And number 3, teachers feel undervalued, because most teachers feel like public enemy number 1. And I know that that sounds just a little bit dramatic, but stay with me, because teachers in this country have become the easiest target. Something goes wrong at school, blame the teacher. Test scores are down, blame the teacher. A parent doesn't like the way things got handled, blame the teacher. And yet you're the one spending your own money for classroom supplies. You give up your own time. You pour yourselves into students who may never say thank you. And yet the public sentiment around teaching right now is at an all-time low. We're not celebrated, we're criticized. We're not appreciated, we're blamed. We're not valued, we're tolerated. And if the feeling of being disrespected by the public isn't enough, recent data shows that teachers in 28 states earn less than 80 cents on the dollar compared to other college-educated professionals. That means in more than half the country, teachers are being told with a paycheck that their education, their experience, and their sacrifice is worth less than almost every other professional that requires the same type of degree. And so I want you to think about it this way. You went to college for 4 years, just like the person sitting in a cubicle down the street. They went home at 5 o'clock. you're still at work at 6:30 grading papers, and they made $20,000 a year more than you. We're at the bottom of the public's appreciation, and we're at the bottom of the pay scale, and we can feel every bit of that in our bones. And summer is when teachers finally have enough time, and it's quiet enough for us to sit and think about all three of these things at once. And that is exactly when the question shows up. That question sounds something like this: is this worth it? Is this what teaching is supposed to be like? Am I the problem? Is there something wrong with me? And I know that that sounds like a whole pile of questions, but at the root is a feeling that creates the question that says this: should I stay or should I go? And when you get to summer break for the first time all year, things are quiet. There's no rush. The grades aren't due. Nobody needs anything from you right now. And so you have all summer to think about it. So let me ask you this question: how are you going to answer that? Now, before you give an answer, I want you to know one thing, is that asking this question, that's not a sign of weakness. Feeling the way you do is not a sign that you made the wrong career choice. It's actually a sign that you're a human being and that you actually care, because teachers who don't care, they just walk out the door. So the fact that you're sitting here thinking about this means that something about this job still matters to you. You just can't figure out why this has to be so painful. And the reason why this is so painful is because we work in a broken system. And because the system is broken, it in turn breaks teachers. And so now you're trying to answer a question about your future with a nervous system that's never had the opportunity to fully recover. It is impossible to think clearly about whether you should stay or whether you should go, because your body is still in the fight or flight mode, and it has been running that way since last September. You can't get a clear answer right now because you don't have a clear thought process. The answer that you're going to get right now is going to come from exhaustion. It's going to come from being depleted, from feeling unsupported, and from feeling like public enemy number one. And that version of you is not able to make an accurate assessment so that you can make a good decision. And I know this from personal experience, because 4 years ago, I woke up and my face went completely paralyzed. I thought I had a stroke. My wife thought I had a stroke. The kids at school thought I had a stroke, but thank the Lord, I didn't have a stroke. But what I did have was a medical crisis as a result of chronic stress that nearly cost me my life and almost cost me my career. And my doctor looked at me and he said, "John, if you don't do something about your stress is going to do something about you." And so for the first time in my almost 17 years of teaching, I took an entire summer off just so that I could think about that very question: should I stay or should I go? And I got to be honest with you, I wanted to leave. I tried to leave. I wanted to quit. But in the midst of that summer, something changed. Now, at Teacher Talk, we're a faith-based organization, and our core verse is Proverbs chapter 4, verse number 23, that says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for from it flow the issues of life." And it was from that one passage of scripture that I realized I had not been guarding my heart. And when I say heart, I don't mean the muscle. I mean the command center of your life, the place where your decisions are made, the place where your desires come from, the place where your intentions originate. I had not properly protected my command center, and as a result, I reached the lowest point that I'd ever reached in my career and perhaps even my life. And what I learned from that experience is that summer is not just time off. It's a window that teachers can use to actually recover. But recovery doesn't happen automatically just because you're not going to work. It has to be intentional. And that insight came directly out of the best summer that I've ever had. So out of that experience, I created a framework that came from me hitting my lowest point in my life to finding my way back. And I used it to answer the question that's sitting in front of you right now: should I stay or should I go? And the framework is called the 5-Day Teacher Reset, and it'll walk you through the 5-step process for teacher renewal. You can check it out in the description box or at the QR on the screen. Either way, go get it, because you don't have to struggle alone. You can answer the question of should I stay or should I go? And you can build a sustainable teaching career. All right, that was a lot to take in, but here's what I want you to know before you go. Since it's summer right now, you're probably in one of the 5 stages of summer break. So go check out this video right here, because it's going to take everything that we just talked about and it's going to make it even more clear. My name is John, your guide to surviving teacher burnout, and I want you to stay strong and keep teaching.